Can you feel the chill in the air at night? The sun sets a little earlier each day. Shadows grow longer as what's hiding in the shadows grow bolder. The flicker in the corner of your eye. Is it a goblin, spook, or specter? Or just one of the Red Moon crew with this year's fresh crop of Halloween reviews? Yes, while the last few weeks have seen us tackle some spooky flicks already, the first week of October means the first week of official Halloween reviews. And if it's Halloween, it must be Saw. What the heck that actually is supposed to mean, I'll never know. But during the franchise's heyday in the early 2000s, every Halloween, cinemas would receive a new Saw film, with this slogan in every trailer. Once upon a time, Saw dominated the Halloween box office. And with Saw 10 now out, we've decided to make this year's Halloween theme torture porn. A term that, while not quite coined yet when the first film released, became synonymous with the franchise. And of course, what better place to start in such a genre than the film that kickstarted it all? Released in 2004 and directed by James Wan, based on a script by himself and Leigh Whannell, both of whom have gone on to become icons in the horror genre. Starting out as an indie flick from Australia, Wan and Whannell, Australian natives and friends, sought to write and fund an independent film in which the majority of the movie focused on two characters trapped together in a room. Originally an elevator, though this changed over time. When unable to get funding for the movie in Australia, the duo crafted a 7-minute short film they took to America, where they secured funding, shot the movie in 18 days, and subsequently were set to release as a straight-to-DVD film, until it packed all 3 consecutive midnight showings at Sundance, whereupon Lionsgate picked up the rights and, after multiple positive test screenings, decided to give the film a theatrical release instead. The rest is history. Saw is not the best made film, even in its own franchise. Dialogue is atrocious and the acting doubly so, even from veteran actors Cary Elwes and Danny Glover. Not all of the twists and surprises line up as well as they should, with plot holes becoming jokes and memes that still persist to this day. Yet somehow the movie captivated audiences and would become more profitable with each film during the height of the franchise's popularity, taking in over $100 million or more on budgets that always stayed around the $10 million range, excluding the failed spin-off Spiral. I will admit that the series is a guilty pleasure of mine, and rewatching the original, I fully remember why. Sure, it is a rough movie. You can tell just how independent its origins are. From a team that had yet to prove themselves, Whannell himself even serves as actor, portraying Adam opposite of Elwes' Dr. Gordon, in which he gives the worst performances of the movie. But despite rough writing and bad acting, the story is there. The scares and horror even more so. The traps, while gruesome, are clever, playing off of each victim's supposed sins. The idea that each trap uniquely teaches a lesson to its victims about the ways they failed to properly value life is both gruesome, clever, and terrifying. And while future installments would go overboard on the intricacy of the traps, the originals were feasible and crude, with the intricacy lying in the lesson they represented, more so than the Rube Goldberg-style ridiculousness later traps became. Wan's literal first foray into directing and horror also showcased his raw talent in the genre. With him going on to be the more successful of the film's creators, James Wan showcased he knew how to build tension and suspense, not just gross-out horror, which maybe also explains why once he left the franchise, it descended into the mindless torture porn as opposed to some of the creative ideas it at least tried to attempt originally. Yes, Saw 1 is not without its flaws, but it did introduce new ideas and concepts to the horror genre, has a smart enough story to captivate audiences, and offers truly horrifying visuals that kept viewers coming back for more. And seeing the growth James Wan has had over time, it's easy to forgive his early mistakes, as the movie does still hold up despite its obvious low-budget filmmaking. At best, Saw is a solid 2.5, though I will admit some bias, and do it one better for its originality and historical relevance in changing and shaping a genre for a whole generation. Plus, there's still the whole guilty pleasure thing too. I give Saw 3 out of 4 stars.